Dear students, our topic is growth and development of adolescent, and already we just started with the adolescent growth and development, and we know what is or who is an adolescent and what is adolescent period or adolescence. So these all terms, it's very familiar for all of you. And along with this adolescence, one major change which happens in an adolescent is the puberty. Okay, puberty, it is nothing but it is the sexual maturation. That is, already in the previous class in the school we have discussed that the neurological system is matured by 10 years, and almost all other systems get maturation or get completion of their maturation by school age. And during this time in the puberty means the sexual maturation, or the men and the women are ready for reproduction. So that happens during the adolescent period, and it is known as puberty. Okay, so puberty primarily refers to the maturational, hormonal and growth process that occurs when the reproductive organs begin to function and secondary sex characteristics develop. So almost all other systems are mature, and one major system which is waiting for maturation was sex organs and the reproductive organs. So that maturation and functional maturation and the starting of function is known as the puberty in man and woman. Okay, on in boy and girl. So this happens in adolescent period. The puberty or the pubertal changes occurs during the adolescent period. So this puberty can be divided into three stages. Okay, prepubescence, puberty and post-pubescent. That is 2 years of before puberty, that is prepubescence, and puberty, that is the point at which sexual maturity is developed. It's starting its functioning. That point is known as puberty. And after that, that is known as post-pubescent, that is skeletal growth completes and reproduction function well established. Regularly the reproductive cycle starts in, especially in girls, and the skeletal growth is maturation or is completing. Skeletal maturation is completing, the maximum height is gained by the child. Till that moment it is known as the post-pubescent. Okay, so the puberty, the sexual maturation or the reproductive functioning starting, that is known as puberty, and it is divided into three stages: prepubescence, puberty and postpubescence. Okay, so prepubescent is happening with early adolescent, that is 10 to 12 years in girls and 12 to 14 years in boys. So this point we have already discussed in the beginning of classes, that is prepubescent, it is in 10 to 12 years in girls and 12 to 14 years in boys. So this prepubescent, it is otherwise known as early adolescence. Okay, and pubescent, that is the puberty, the point at which the puberty happens for a boy or a girl, and this is known as middle adolescence, and it is between 12 to 14 years in girls and 14 to 16 years in boys. And post-pubescent, that is till the skeletal maturation completes and the functioning of reproductive systems are becoming normal in a cyclic pattern, then that is known as the post-pubescent period, and it is known as otherwise known as late adolescent, and 14 to 18 years for girls and 16 to 20 years for boys. Okay, so hope you all are clear with adolescence and prepubescent. These two terms, adolescent, that is the transitional phase from the childhood to the adulthood, and during this transition of a boy to man and a girl to woman, this adolescence is a very important stage in which almost all functioning and maturation is completing. And in this adolescent period, very important system functioning which will be starting and getting matured is the reproduction system, and that maturation is known as the puberty, and based on that it can be prepubescent, pubescent and postpubescent, and it happens in early adolescent, middle adolescent and late adolescent. So hope you all are clear with what I am explaining now, and we'll be moving on to the other developmental features of an adolescent child. So, regarding the biological development, the hormonal influences will be there. Like we know that reproductive system, it has its own hormone functioning, and almost neurological function is complete, endocrine systems are complete, and now the reproductive hormones also start functioning. So because of these all hormonal influences, there will be rapid increase of spurt. So we know that in the first period, that is in infancy, there was a rapid change in height, weight happened comparing to other stages of development. Similar to that, in adolescent period also, this hormonal changes that causes rapid increase of spurt, like height is increasing and the person is getting more height and weight during this time in boys and girls. Then drastic physical changes will be there, like secondary sexual characteristics, breast development, so skin changes. So these all physical changes can be seen. Distinguishing between the sexes, now a person can be very clearly identified like male or female or girl or boy. There is no confusion during this time. We can very evidently we can identify boys and girls, and primary sexual characteristics and secondary sexual characteristics will be developing. So these all changes during adolescent period, it is because of hormonal changes and the hormonal influences. So from different parts, endocrine system is getting matured, neurological system is getting matured, and in turn it causes the reproductive system to mature, and it will also produce the hormones. So because of these hormonal changes, these many changes happens in the adolescent body. Okay, this is about the biological development. So the external changes which can be seen in an adolescent, it is height and weight, body proportions, dentition, sex organs and secondary sex characteristics. So these are the external changes in the biological development of the child during the adolescent. Okay. So there are some internal changes also, like neuroendocrine system. So neurological maturity, that one part is over, and endocrine system, that is also over. So this continuous cyclic process of functioning will start by this particular age, and there will be changes in the circulatory system which cannot be seen, and it is again an internal change. The third one is respiratory system, integumentary system and body tissue. So we can see one by one in detail. And weight and height. So during the early adolescence, now we are not calculating with a formula, because up to 12 years we had a weight formula and the height formula to calculate the height and weight. And now according to the body, the pattern and the familial pattern, the person height and weight will be changing. So we cannot expect as such a weight and height for the adolescent according to a weight depending upon the age of the person. That is purely some factors like eating habits and the nutritional pattern, familial pattern, everything will be influencing now the adolescent's height and weight. So we can expect male will be with a 30 to 60 kg, female will be with a 40 to 60 kg in early adolescent, and height will be for male 154 to 172 centimeter, and female it will be 153 to 167 centimeter. Regarding the middle adolescence, that is weight will be male 50 to 60 kg and female will be with the 44 to 64 kg, and height male with 164 to 180 centimeter and female with 155 to 169 centimeter. So this is with the regarding the late adolescence. Male weight will be with the 56 to 80 kg and female with the 48 to 72 kg, and height is with male 163 to 182 centimeter, female 156 to 170 centimeter. So this is the proportional changes which can be expected in the weight and height of the female and male during early, middle and late adolescent period. Regarding the body proportions, in early adolescent period, there will be rate of growth differs in various organs. Like there may not be a uniform pattern in different organs. The skeletal system grows faster. So what we wanted as the maximum height by the end of this post-pubescent period or in the late adolescent period. So that's why there will be very much increase we can expect in the height of the person. Skeletal system will be growing much faster. Muscular system will be comparatively slow, so the child will look very thin, that is long with less muscle amount. So the child will be looking very thin during this time and results in clumsiness and poor posture. So when they are increasing height very rapidly, there will be some clumsiness and there will be poor posture maintenance by the child. If it is continual, there will be posture abnormalities, so we have to correct it properly during the adolescent period itself. So this is about the body proportions. Not or all body portions are not equally developing or growing during this time. So that's about the development. And regarding the dentition, permanent teeth number will be increasing. Secondary molar, cuspid and bicuspid teeth erupt in 10 to 13 years. So we want to reach up to 32 teeth. So much amount of teeth, the number of increasing will be, number of teeth will be increasing during this time also. The internal changes which can be seen as the neuroendocrine events. So biological changes are triggered by hormonal influence. So very importantly, what we have to discuss in the adolescent period, it is the neuroendocrine events, what happens in an adolescent child. Okay, so what is the mechanism by which the reproductive system is getting matured or the puberty is achieved by the child? And these all things are very importantly, we have to understand that this is the result of neuroendocrine system. So there will be some hormonal influence will be there, which will be causing these all events. So we can see detail. So when there is response to hormonal influences, that means the hypothalamus will feel that there is decreased amount of hormones. Okay, so that in that situation, hypothalamus will stimulate or it will produce gonadotropin releasing hormone. That means by 10 years, നമ്മൾ ഓൾറെഡി കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്, 10 years ആയി കഴിയുമ്പോഴത്തേനും ന്യൂറോളജിക്കൽ സിസ്റ്റം മെച്ചുവേർഡ് ആയിട്ടുണ്ട്. എല്ലാ ന്യൂറോളജിക്കൽ എബിലിറ്റീസും അതിന് പ്രോപ്പറായിട്ട് നടത്താൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ട്. ബ്രെയിൻ ഈസ് നോർമൽ. Brain is equal to an adult brain. So the hypothalamus will be starting functioning. So hypothalamus will be having a negative and positive influence on the hormonal levels. So hypothalamus will identify that there is decreased production of or the decreased level of hormones in the body. So in that situation, what happens is hypothalamus will produce gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH. So this GnRH will cause anterior pituitary to produce FSH and LH. What is FSH and LH? It is follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Okay. So this FSH and LH will cause the gonads maturation. So gonads, that is the sex organs of the male and the female, will be getting matured with the influence of these two hormones, which is produced by anterior pituitary gland, that is FSH and LH. So when this gonads getting matured, it will be producing estrogen and progesterone in girls and testosterone and androgen in males. And when the production is increasing, thus estrogen progesterone level and the testosterone androgen level in male, when it is increasing, it will give a feedback for anterior pituitary, so that FSH and LH will be decreasing production. Like anterior pituitary, again and again it will be stimulating the FSH and LH production, and it will be producing gonad maturation. When the gonads are increasingly motivated with the influence of FSH and LH, maturation of the reproductive system will be completing, and these hormones will be produced. So hormones will be produced, reaching a adult level. Reproductive capacity, when it is increasing with this influence, the estrogen progesterone level will be increasing to the adult pattern, and it will be giving a feedback to the anterior pituitary to produce less amount of FSH and LH. മനസ്സിലായെന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നു. അതായത് ഹൈപ്പോതലാമസ് ഫങ്ഷനിങ് ആയി കഴിയുമ്പോൾ GnRH പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യും. അത് പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ആൻറ്റീരിയർ പിറ്റ്യൂട്ടറി 2 ഹോർമോൺസ് പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു, FSHഉം LHഉം. ഈ രണ്ടെണ്ണവും എന്താണ് അതിൻ്റെ ഫങ്ഷൻ? ഗൊണാഡ് മെച്ചുറേഷനാണ്. സോ ഗൊണാഡ് മെച്ചുറേഷന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് പിന്നെയും ആൻറ്റീരിയർ പിറ്റ്യൂട്ടറി FSHഉം LHഉം കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ആയിട്ട് പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കുന്നു? ഓവുലേഷൻ സംഭവിക്കുന്നു മെയിലും. അതേപോലെ തന്നെ റീപ്രൊഡക്റ്റീവ് സിസ്റ്റം ഫങ്ഷനിങ് ആവുന്നു. ആ ഫങ്ഷനിങ് ആയി കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ആദ്യം കുറച്ച് ഹോർമോൺ ആയിരിക്കും, ഈസ്ട്രോജൻ പ്രൊജസ്ട്രോൺ, അതേപോലെ തന്നെ ടെസ്റ്റോസ്റ്റിറോൺ ആൻഡ്രോജൻ ലെവൽ കുറച്ച് പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് അഡൾട്ട് ലെവലിലെത്തിക്കഴിയുമ്പോൾ എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കും? ആൻറ്റീരിയർ പിറ്റ്യൂട്ടറി വിൽ ബി reducing the production of FSH and LH. Okay, so this is the cycle with which the neuroendocrine system is helping in the reproductive system for its functioning. Okay, അതായത് ഹൈപ്പോതലാമസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ബ്രെയിൻ്റെ പാർട്ടാണ്, ആൻറ്റീരിയർ പിറ്റ്യൂട്ടറി ബ്രെയിൻ്റെ പാർട്ടാണ്. ഹോർമോൺ എൻഡോക്രൈൻ ഗ്ലാൻഡ്സ് പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ് FSH LH. അത് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ ഹെൽപ്പോടു കൂടിയാണ് റീപ്രൊഡക്റ്റീവ് സിസ്റ്റംസ് മെച്യൂർ ആവുന്നത്. സോ ദിസ് ഇസ് ദ neuroendocrine event which can be happen in the internal changes in the adolescent. Hope you all understood what we discussed now. And one more thing which we want to discuss is the FSH and LH functioning. നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞു FSHഉം LHഉം എന്താ സംഭവിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്? ഗൊണാഡ്സ് മെച്ചുറേഷനെ ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്നു എന്നുള്ളതാണ് നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു വെച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. സോ എങ്ങനെ ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്നു എന്നുള്ളതാണ് അടുത്ത സ്ലൈഡിൽ കാണുന്നത്. സോ FSH ഇൻ എ ഗേൾ, ഈ യെല്ലോ കളറുള്ളത് ഗേളും ബോയ് ഇപ്പുറത്തും നീല കളറുള്ളതാണ്. FSH in girl helps to stimulate the growth of ovarian follicles and estrogen. So FSH follicle, okay, follicle, which follicle is present in the girl? That is ovarian follicle and the production of estrogen. So FSH will help the girl to stimulate the growth of ovarian follicle. So once in a month, one ovum will be ovarian follicle will be getting matured, and release of ovulation or release of ovum will be happening. This will be helped by the FSH. Okay, estrogen will be produced. In boy, FSH will helps in the stimulation of sperm production. Okay, in girl it is helping for the ovarian follicle stimulation, and in boy it is helping for the sperm production. In luteinizing hormone, the second hormone which is produced by the anterior pituitary is luteinizing hormone, and this luteinizing hormone in girl initiates ovulation, formation of corpus luteum and progesterone production. So already we know that FSH stimulation of the ovarian follicle is happening. Ovum is now mature to release, that is ovulation, to release for ovulation. So this ovulation is initiated by luteinizing hormone, and once it is ovarian follicle is free with the ovum, this happens like formation of corpus luteum and the production of progesterone. So LH helps in the production of progesterone, FSH helps in the production of estrogen. So this is the luteinizing hormones action on girl, and in boy it acts in Leydig cells prompting maturation of the testicles and testosterone production. So it is helping in the Leydig cells for the maturation of the testicles. Testicle maturation is helped by the luteinizing hormone, and it will be helping in the production of testosterone production. So this is the action of FSH and LH. So we can see that this way FSH and LH is helping for the gonads maturation, so that these hormones will be produced and it will give a feedback for anterior pituitary to increase or decrease the production of FSH and LH. So this is about the functioning of FSH and LH. So now we can see in female what are the primary sex characteristics. Already we know that there are primary sex characteristics and secondary sex characteristics. So these hormones are helping for the appearance of primary sex characteristics and the secondary sex characteristics. So in the female, primary sex characteristics, these all things we cannot see actually. So the maturation of the ovaries, development and release of ovum, that is the ovulation. These are the very important primary sex characteristics which cannot be seen in female. Primary means we cannot see it is happening internally. Then in early puberty, FSH stimulates estrogen production by the ovaries. Estrogen is not enough to cause ovulation during the early puberty. So in the early puberty itself, the FSH will be produced and estrogen will be produced, but it is not enough to cause the ovulation. But in mid-puberty, high level of estrogen will be happening and building of endometrial lining in uterus. So during the mid-puberty, first menstruation is happening, and this is also coming under the primary sex characteristics, and the first menstruation is known as menarche. So this is about the primary sex characteristics in female. Okay. Next we can see the secondary sex characteristics in female. So secondary sex characteristics it is also influenced by the hormones. In female, there will be increase in transverse diameter of the pelvis. So we know that comparing to the male pelvis, here in female, transverse diameter, which is helping actually for the uterine uterus, which is preparing for a baby to accommodate in the uterus. So that's why the transverse diameter of the pelvis is increasing in the female. The second change, which is secondary sex characteristics of a female, is development of the breast. And menarche we have seen in the previous slide. Just similar to that, telarche. Telarche means that is the development of the breast. Okay. Changes in the vaginal secretions will be the production of vaginal secretions, and it will be slightly sticky and white in color. Secretions will be produced during this time. That is also again this is secondary sexual characteristics. Growth of pubic and axillary hair occurs in female, that is known as adrenarche. And menstruation begins between the appearance of pubic hair and that of the axillary hair, and that is the menstruation. First menstruation is known as the menarche. So we can expect that between the appearance of pubic hair and the axillary hair appearance, we can see the menarche normally, and there will be pigmentation of the genital skin appearance on the genital area. The hyperpigmentation can be seen. So these are the secondary sexual characteristics of the female. So 3RK, now we know that is thelarche, that is the breast enlargement or a development of the breast in a female. The second is adrenarche, that is the axillary and the pubic hair appearance. And the third one is menarche. These three are very importantly, you have to understand, these are the part of secondary sexual characteristics which can be seen in a female. So these are the changes which can be seen in a female. So the primary sex characteristics already we cannot see, but it is happening inside our body. And the female, the secondary sex characteristics which can be seen from outside, and it is part of hormonal influences, that are the secondary sexual characteristics. Hope you all are clear with what I am discussing. And the next topic is the same, the primary and the secondary sexual characteristics in a male. So the primary sex characteristics, first ejaculation in boys. So viable sperms and matured sperms can be seen in the male, and male gonads getting mature. These are the changes in the primary sex characteristics. Okay, so these will cause, like testosterone influence can be there, and it will cause the impact on penis, that is lengthening of the penis will be there, changes in the scrotum, changes in the prostate and seminal vesicle. So these all changes are because of the influence of hormone testosterone in a male. So these all are the primary sex characteristics. So first ejaculation happens, viable sperms and matured sperms. So now the reproductive capacity of the male will be occurring with the viable sperm, viable and mature sperm can be seen, and there will be gonad maturation happens. And the hormone testosterone will cause some changes on penis, scrotum, prostate and the seminal vesicle. So the secondary sex characteristics in a male, it is increase in size of the genitalia, especially the penis and the scrotal sac increase size, swelling of the breast like thelarche, some amount of breast development can be there in a male, but it is not that evident like a female. Okay, but we can see thelarche in male also. Then growth of pubic and axillary hair, along with that we can see the facial and chest hair also in male. That is also the secondary sex characteristics of a male. Next is a voice changes, some changes in the voice. Then production of spermatozoa will be there, and we have already seen in female there will be transverse diameter of the pelvis is increasing. Now here shoulder breadth increases in a male. So these are the changes in the secondary sex characteristics of the male and the female. So there were other changes just similar to the female reproductive system, like first ejaculation is happening, like there will be erections happen when the penis gets stiff and hard. There are erections happens in the male, and ejaculation, that is when the semen made up of sperm and other fluids is discharged through the penis. And ejaculation could happen at night while sleeping, or wet dreams can be there. So it is not just like female, like a regular cycle is not expected in a male, but this indicates the erection, ejaculation, these all indicates the male is reproductively functioning, or male reproductive systems are functioning and it is mature. These indicate that. Okay, so these are the some of the changes in the male and female, the primary sex characteristics and the secondary sexual characteristics in the male and female we have seen in detail. Thank you very much. We will continue in the next video.